Hello and welcome back to part 2 of Hello Spring. I left abruptly a few days ago because I just didn't feel well and it just kind of hit me and I needed to sit down and lay down. And so I did just that. But now I'm back to finish this card and I have 3 more projects for you with this Hello Spring paper pumpkin kit. So this is where we kind of left off. On Thursday, it's a fold back latch style card and we worked ourselves from the inside out and that's where we are. Let me see, I'm just going to kind of work on this shadow here. Okay, hopefully that's going to go away. All right, so you can see we've started. I brought in some of the Timeless Plaid Designer Series paper and there are many sheets in this pack that work great with this Hello Spring paper pumpkin kit. By the way, this is from February of 2025. All right, so these are some more kit pieces that I will be using. You can see I've already started with a few, but I've also brought in a few Spotlight on Nature circles. These were both cut with basic beige. I've also die cut from the Spring is in the Air dies. Excuse me. I've die cut a couple more bees and a couple, well, 3 bees, and I've die cut a couple of the honeycomb. And in the bees, I showed this in part 1 that I had a piece of the ombre, sorry, I said it wrong then, I'm going to say it wrong, going to get it right now. Pastel ombre specialty 12 by 12 glimmer paper. And so this is really pretty. It kind of goes from Coastal Cabana, Summer Splash up to Pool Party. So that's what I've done is I've die cut a few of the bees in that lighter part of the pastel ombre glimmer. So those are really pretty. These 2 are scraps of Old Olive two-tone cardstock. And I have one in the light and one in the dark. It's kind of hard to see, but I did vary them. I just think that the bee dies, these are for next month. But I really love how they work and play off with this month's look. So I also have a couple Stampin' Blends here with me. So this is bronze and then this is light olive. And so let's just start with that. And what I'm gonna do is just give, well, and actually I'm gonna let this kind of get some splatter too. Mostly I'm gonna let it get the bronze, but I'm gonna splatter just a little bit of color onto the circle label here. Dropped the lid of my blend. So that was a little bit of light Old Olive, and here comes some bronze. And so I want the bronze, I kind of want it on this, on the leaves, and a little bit there. And I think I'm even gonna bring some in. There we go, it's finally moving along. I couldn't get a whole lot out of it, and then I had to just hit a little harder. But so there's that, just to kind of break up that starkness of the white. Let's just review here real quick. This label here that actually is cut and layered under this side, it kind of cuts through. This is the back side of one of the labels in the kit. So instead of using this beautiful chive side, let me see if I can find one here. I actually found 2. So this side, which I think is really cool, love the stitching line, I just flipped it over, okay? Just to kind of vary things up. All right, so what I want to do is finish this up, and I'm gonna take one of the honeycombs, and it doesn't matter which one. I'm gonna add just a touch of glue here and there. And we'll glue this down. And this one is going to layer. Of course, I put the glue. I'm gonna go this way so that my glue will stick. And this one, I'm gonna glue to this front panel. And I'm also going to glue one bee. And I think I'm gonna do it right up in there. And I mean, I could do it kind of on an angle, that would be fun, but I kind of thought with this card, I'm gonna make all of the bees be right up and down because all this other stuff is going in a lot of different directions. So I just thought for a change of pace, I would do these very very, you know, just straight up and down, kind of right in there. Okay, there's that bee. And I didn't put glue on the wings so that those could kind of have a little bit of a flutter. There's just a little bit of lift to them. And now with this piece here, this is going to go on with some glue. And I want this, it's going to go on this inside layer here, but I want to have my card shut because I kind of want it to mimic the circle line of what's right in here. Okay. Hi, Cassie. I'm just kind of on, you know, on a whim here, finishing up my, excuse me, my video from the other day that I didn't finish. So, anyhow, so there's that layer. I just wanted it to layer nicely behind the For You. And then this one here, I kind of got a little bit hasty and put that down a little fast. This one's going to kind of go, it's going to kind of come in here, but I'm also going to put a greeting in here. I'm going to put the sending love. I'm not putting it on the circle. I know that seems kind of crazy, and I think I can get that to catch just like that. I'm going to put the sending love, and I'm going to open this whole thing up so I'm flat. But I'm going to put the sending love kind of right in this little corner right there. And I'm going to use the Lost Lagoon. And so the Lost Lagoon will kind of take us back to the middle of this beautiful leaf that they've given us. And then I even think, you know, it's a buddy color to the pool party that we have going on in the bees. I'm just trying to get this. The phone is right in my area where I needed to see, but I think that looks great. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another bee, and I'm going to set this bee. Let me bring my card closed. This bee is going to hide. So it's going to hide behind that, but I kind of don't want it to show. So I need to move it over enough that it doesn't show. So I'll put it right there. Let's do that. Open position was better. Let me get an ink pad out of the way before we make a mess. Same thing. I'm going to add just a little bit of glue to the bee. Hi, Kathleen. And so this one's just going to kind of sit right about here. Okay. And then I'm going to I'll close my card again just so I can see the relation to where everything is. But what's nice is that bee is hidden. And then I'm going to take another honeycomb here, and I'm going to layer that right on top of that circle. Okay. Just a little glue here and there. Thanks, Kathleen. She says hello. Okay. I'm just kind of finishing up a video that I started the other day. I need to rotate this because these two honeycombs are going in different directions. I'm going to rotate this to where the honeycomb's going all in the same direction, if you know what I mean. And so we'll bring this one out kind of like this, just like so. And then I'm going to add another bee right about, I need to put it far enough out that it doesn't catch with that. So I'll put it right about there. Is that where I want it, or do I want it down here? I think I'm going to do it right there. Kind of right in where all that stuff comes together. And the last things I'm going to do are, I'm going to embellish this card with some of my favorites. And so I'm going to bring in some of the linen thread. And I mentioned in part 1, this linen thread is a different color than our typical linen thread. This is more of a, it's kind of like a basic beige instead of a crumb cake color. Or, you know, not that linen thread is kind of crumb cake / gray. It's somewhere in between. This is a little warmer. It's also just a little bit thinner. Okay, so I'm just going to style my bow the way I like it. Okay. It's flipping over and doing weird things Come on, behave. All right, we'll trim this. And then I'm going to add this on the inside. And I'm going to add this to the circle that we have here. You know, sometimes I put it under, but I thought, well, I'm just going to do this a little bit different. And I'm just going to kind of add this linen thread right through there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a glue dot right there. And then I will wiggle all the fibers into, let's see if I have a glue dot handy. Here they are. Wiggle all the fibers of the linen thread into the glue dot. And so it's just going to kind of go right in the middle of this little honeycomb section right there. So we'll peel that off. And then I'm just going to, because I know that knot isn't that big, I'm just going to kind of squish my glue dot down just a little bit so it doesn't end up getting seen. Okay, that should be good. And now I'm just going to wiggle my linen thread right into that glue dot. Okay. And then I'll kind of scrunch these, the glue dot so that you don't see it. And this, you know, it just wants to flip, so I'm just going to flip it all the way around. So that kind of goes to the inside. And yes, it will end up just kind of being just kind of on the inside there, so parts of it stick out, or I could actually flip it over and have it all come. Oh, that's cute. I definitely like that. Okay. Still that stupid flip in the, this funny little piece just doesn't want to cooperate. I'll fix that later. And if you're wondering how I fix it, I actually kind of pull on it with my fingernails just a little bit. And this is going to sound crazy, but I huff on it like I'm steaming it. And so it gives it just enough moisture that I can kind of move that back. Hi, Laura. Good to have you here on my kind of unexpected, you know, just kind of finishing up from the other day. All right. So speaking of finishing up, let's finish this up with some Wink of Stella in some of these mint leaves. Okay. Same thing on this side. And then we'll stellize for sure. I hope you guys are using the word stellize. Let's coin a new verb, a new technique to stellize. And then last, I thought I would bring in, these are the 2024, 2026 in color gems. I was like, wait, is that the right year? Yeah, so 24 to 26. And I thought that I would use these shimmer gems because look how pretty the summer splash is with all of this. So I'm going to do kind of a small, maybe I'll do it right in here. I'm going to come over in here just a little bit. And I'm going to do a large. And I'll bring that. I'm not entirely sure. I know I want one like right about here. I kind of like the way that works. But maybe I'm going to move this one and bring it, yeah, I'm going to bring it to there, a little closer. And then let's do another. And so I'm going to do a large, just kind of right up in there. Okay. So there you have it. Let's see if I can work this. Let me push this back for just a second. See if I can work that into, you know, there's my fingernail. There we go. Now it's kind of sitting the way I want it to sit. So super pretty, I think. I enjoy this. I like a good fold back card, but it just kind of has a nice botanical field flavor to this card. So it pushes back, says for you, sending love, and then you can do whatever you'd like on the inside. And, you know, if you want, you can add some more, you can keep decorating. So add a few more bees, more of the honeycomb. I think it would be kind of fun. So that was card number 4. Let's move on. I have another project for you. And this one, instead of using a card base, I'm using one of the small little gift bags. You can buy them and are they a 10 pack or an 8 pack? I can't remember, but you get half of the large and half of the small. Jen says, "What a lovely surprise on a Sunday afternoon. Hope you're feeling better." Yep. Well, I'm vertical. So, and I'm working on, I needed to get this cleaned off the kitchen counter. I'm like, I think I can get that done right now. Of course, I just had like an hour where I just laid down and vegged, but hey, working on it, getting on the mend here. Jen, I was thinking about you in that, you had asked me about the heirloom, is that what, heirloom arrangements, heirloom arrangements kits collection, right? And so you had said, am I going to do anything with it? I don't know if you've seen my question on the Backstage Pass, but I am thinking of doing just a day camp of that kit. You know, we'll just blitz it out and use every piece. That's going to be the goal. So, and that's because of your encouragement. So, okay. So I do have, so I said I'm using a bag, but I am going to use one of the card bases from the kit here. We're going to need 2 pieces that are going to be 3 1/4. So let's cut 3 1/4 now. And I'm just going to cut the entire card base here. So, and I'm going to go all the way down. So I'm at 3 1/4. Save that. It's a great piece. And now I'm going to need my height. This is actually my width. My height is going to be 3 5/8. Okay. So there's that score line there. So I'm just going to rotate and get me another piece that's 3 5/8. Okay, so those 2 we are going to want. And these are just simply going to layer onto the front side and then the back side of our bag here. So let's open this up. You know what? These bags, they're a little stiff. They're a little hard to open. I mean, they're not impossible. Come on, we're smarter than them, right? But they are a little stiff. Okay, so we'll do one on the front, one on the back here. I kind of really like these little bags. I think they're a lot of fun. And it might help if I kind of get this somewhat centered. And then I'm just going to turn that over and burnish that in place. Okay, and now we'll do the same thing for this side. Again, the measurements on this are 3 1/4 by 3 5/8. And this is the small bag from the gift bags that Stampin' Up! Offers. And this looks like, I mean, it's going to hold a decent amount of stuff. This would make a cute little Easter kind of goodie favor. You know, if you want to just drop some off to some friends nearby. All right, so there's my bag. Not too tough, right? Then I have a white, this is a white willow circle. We talked about this in part 1 before I just about crashed and burned. That I was using white willow and that I like to use white willow because it's a cooler white. And I like that with my Paper Pumpkin and the Kits collections. So this one measures just about 3 1/4 across. And this is, you know, it's about the width of our bag here. And I'm going to go ahead and score this in half. Small bag. So, okay, so Jen says 16 stampable bags. Okay, I knew 8 was in there somewhere. So there's 8 large and 8 small. And this is the small size. Okay, so if this is 3 1/4, then this is going to be at about 3 1/4. So this is going to be about 1 5/8. So I'm just going to kind of, it doesn't have to be exact, but get your cutting blade out of sight, out of, you know, and we're going to score this in half. There's that. And I'm going to take my bubble bath and the magic stamp. If you remember, we called this little texture stamp the magic stamp. I'm not sure if it's clean. I don't know where we left off. Oh well, it's looking clean enough. So on 1/2 here, and I am just going to do 1/2, I'm just going to add some of this fun texture image. Okay, and I'm just twisting it so that it doesn't end up in the same direction. All right, and maybe we'll add just one little splash of it right there. Okay, let me show that up close. I know it's a little tricky to see, but it's there. There's my bubble bath. And I'm going to take my, let's take our olive green, and I am going to splatter this. So I'll just use my bone folder. Whoa. This one's juicy. This was my dark old olive, definitely moving a little bit more than the others, but there's that. Okay, I am going to stellize just to get that layer in there of color. And I'm going to, we're going to cut, okay, well, I already have it cut. I'm going to show you what we're going to stamp though. So this is another Spotlight on Nature circle, and it also is white willow. And you know, just FYI, this bag is very much, let me bring in my two whites here. Kind of tricky to see. You can see the white on top is definitely creamier, has a warm tone to it. This is basic white, this is white willow. And then let me show you, let me see if I can hold both of these. Let me go this way. Let me put the white willow on top. But you can see that this is just, it's not exact, but it's a cooler match than this one here. So that's why I'm using the white willow. Get those out of the way. Get that out of the way. And let's stamp this. So we're going to stamp this with the For You. I love this little image. And we're going to stamp it with Lost Lagoon. And I am going to throw just a little bit of color underneath here because I can't see what I'm doing. So it doesn't matter what color. I've got some contrast here. And I'm going to move down so that I don't have the phone in my face. Okay. There is the Lost Lagoon. Ooh, that looks really good with the radiating stitches. So this is the smallest die from Spotlight on Nature, but I think that looks really good. That is the stamping for that. And then I'm going to take this cute little piece here, and this cute little piece, we're going to score it in half. Okay, so it's just about 3 3/4. So that would be 1 5/8. Is that right? No, 1 3/8. So I'm going to get that tip, and it doesn't have to be exact. So this tip is close to 1 3/8. We're just going to give this a quick little score. And it's not going to be the same. It's going to have a little bit of a flag end by the time you turn it over. So see, you have a little peak of white showing. Okay. And then I'm going to take my hole punch. So I just have my little hole punch that's always on my cart, and I'm going to open this up because I don't want the hole to show. I'm going to put it underneath. It's just something I do every now and again. And then this piece here, we're going to add it to our tag. But here's another one of the honeycomb. I had a scrap of wild wheat on my desk, so I'm like, oh, perfect color. I like these colors together. So I'm just going to... I'm going to add that with I'm going to do it all in one move here. So I'm going to take a dimensional, okay, and my For You. Well, let me see how I want it to be. So here's For You. I kind of want it over here on this side. Oh, I like that better. And now I'm going to stick it at the same time. Okay, there you go. And then we'll add this to our tag. And it doesn't have to be exact. It doesn't have to, in fact, I like it off to the side. You guys have seen me do that lots of times. So just there like that. So this is going to be the tag for our bag. And we will use some of the linen thread here. So I'm going to take just about, 8 inches or so. And then I'm going to run this through the back. Now, this is the tiniest little tag. I mean, I've done smaller, but the cool thing is, even though... I mean, there's still space to put, like Jen, and then like a little heart, and then like Love Elizabeth. There's enough room to sign it. Not a whole lot to write, but at least they know who it's from, right? So there's my tag ready to go. And this is ready to go. I'm going to fold this in half. It's not quite half, but you know what? It's good enough. And on the half that we didn't stamp, I'm going to put some glue on that. Okay, so there's glue on that half. And now I'm going to bring my bag in here, and I'm just kind of squeezing the bag, and I'm putting this, so this is just going to kind of cover the bag like so. Does that make sense? Okay, so we'll just wiggle this into place, and that's going to pop over. Now, you could, to close it, because it is going to kind of pop up a little bit, you could actually add a dimensional there, or if you had like some Velcro circles, the self-adhesive ones, I have like a whole stack of those. That would work really well so they can open and shut. But right now we are just making the bag. So now we're going to make a bow for this. And I shared this bow in our Studio Ink Spots camp, but now I'm going to actually do one so everyone can see how they are. I kind of implicated how you do it, or indicated rather, funny words. So there's two 2 3/8 inch circles. Hello, I don't look so good. 2 3/8, that's the size. And then we're going to do two 2-inch, okay? Now, doesn't have to be these exact measurements. You could do whatever you have. It's fun to do this with circles. And I'm using punches just because it's a little faster than using, say, cutting out all your dies. So each one of these, and so we've got two-tone cardstock here. So there's the light and the dark. Can you see the difference? So I might actually just do these. I'm going to do one with the dark inside, and you're going to give it a fold. And then you're going to fold it in half the other direction. You will notice that cardstock folds easy in one direction and it's a little trickier in the other, because that's because we're going with the fibers and then against them. So that one was with the dark on the inside. Now we'll fold this one with the light on the inside. It's just going to give us, you know, a very slight bit of variation. Just going to add a hint of color. No one's going to really know exactly what that is. So there's those two. And now we'll do the same thing to these. Okay. So this is light on the outside. This little bow / flower works really well with brads too, but I didn't have any really little brads. They were a little big, so I didn't go there. I'm just going to glue this together with glue, but it is fun with brads, because then you can kind of swivel things around. Okay, so there's that. Oops. Now what you're going to do, while it's folded in half, you're going to take your snips and you're going to take this quarter, each of the quarters, and you're going to cut towards the center, not all the way. And you're going to do that on both sides. And you'll do that with all 4 pieces here. Okay? So just fold it in half. From the curve, clip, just eyeball, you know. You're splitting that quarter into 8ths. And I'm just eyeballing to the center. Same thing here, from the curve to the center. We'll do this one as well. Okay, now what we're going to, excuse me, now what we're going to do is and it doesn't really matter because you can fold these either direction. We're just going to get these at least glued together. So I'm going to do just a dot of glue right on center. And now I'll do a dot of glue. But what I want to do is to make sure that this slit is over a fold. Okay. So you want slits over folds. Sounds like a card game or something. Or you want to be kind of somewhere. You don't want to line everything up is what I'm getting at. And so I'm going to just kind of burnish that little adhesive right in there. Once that's kind of really set, then I can manipulate it. So I'll open this one. And so this is a dark up. So I'll open this one to be light up. Okay. And we'll put a dot of glue on center. And again, let's do, you know, little slits over folds. And we'll just bring in our bone folder here to just burnish that adhesive right there. And then this one's going to glue on top of this one, but I'm going to kind of play around with this one just a little bit here. So what I want to do is where there are folds, I'm just going to kind of fold up, fold up. I'm just going to kind of pinch these. Okay, so that one's going up. Now these I'm going to have go up as well. Okay, so see how we're creating just some dimension here? Just kind of fun. Okay, and then this one will kind of fill in. So what we're getting is just kind of, we're just kind of mixing things. Ooh, this two-tone is fun. Seeing the different colors. But anyways, you're just going to play with it and get it as fluffy as you want. But now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to flatten the whole thing. I'm going to flatten the whole thing, which is nice because if you want to make a couple of these ahead of time, you can flatten them out and, you know, not put them together just yet all the way. Or you could have it on there and then flatten it. This would be a little tricky to flatten, so you might want to wait on gluing that back piece. But you could glue it far enough and then have like tear and tape in certain areas ready to go. Okay, so I want to put folds over slits. And I know it doesn't look like folds over slits right now, but that's because there's another layer in there. We'll just really let that set up, and then I'm going to monkey with that a little bit. Okay. And before we monkey with it, let's bring these back in, and I'm going to put one of these giant pink ones right in the center just to finish that off. And I'm really going to give it a good push so that it doesn't pop off. Now we'll go ahead and let me get a little, I've got adhesive on here. When I folded it, my fingers were a little gluey. All right, so let's go ahead and just kind of, we're going to fold these kind of down. Let me start with the bottom ones so that I know where I'm going. So these are all going to pinch upwards. And yours doesn't have to be exact. They kind of turn out different every time. And then so these are going to fold upward. So it looks like we're going to fold everything upward. Yeah. Okay. Let me just kind of get this a little out of the way. So I'm going to fold these up. And as I'm folding them inward, okay, so I'm V-ing these, if that makes sense. I'm valley folding them. I'm also pulling them up towards the center, at least this top layer. And this is where the brad comes in handy, in that you can kind of spin these around. Okay, so this one, it's also going to fold up. Fold up, up. Now it's just kind of coming into place. Okay, same thing on these. We'll just give them a nice, you know, crisp fold. But there you can see you get a cute little flower action going. And then we'll glue this. We're going to glue this area right here. I'm not going to glue the whole thing down, just in the middle. And then this is going to glue onto our flap here. So I'm eyeballing center. I'm just going to hold that for a second to let that really set up. And then once that sets up, I can kind of fluff my flower bow again. And of course, it's the kind of thing that you're going to kind of monkey with right up until you give it to somebody. But it's just kind of fun. It's a different way of making a bow for something. And then, like I said, I could use a dimensional or like a Velcro dot. For right now, I'm going to use just a mini dimensional, just so that you can kind of see and get the idea of what it looks like. The other thing is I can rub this off with an adhesive remover, so that's kind of why I'm using that, because I think I will use one of the Velcro little circles that I have. Okay, and then we'll just kind of grab that other side, tack that down. Cute. Just simple, cute, dimensional, spring, you know, perfect for a spring forward day, right? And then I'm going to take my little tag here. I'm going to give this a crisp fold. Get that little hanging chad on the back. Let me crisp up that fold. And I'm going to reach my tails all the way around where I've glued. So I'm just going to, where I tied I glued that flower on. I'm just going to kind of set this where I like it to hang. Kind of right off. Get that. There we go. So it's just going to kind of hang off the side. I'll even up my ends. So I'm not like tying this or punching another hole. It's just going around where the glue was circled down. The glue was circled down. The circle was glued down. And so I'm just going to kind of tie this that I tied it one time, and I'm going to tie it one more time. And it's just kind of tying and landing down beside, down behind all that. And then I'm just going to let the tails fall off to the other side. Now to finish this, I'm going to bring my gems back in because we have that one on center. And I'm really just going to kind of pull this all up nice and fluffy. And I'm going to do two more. So I'm going to do another large. Okay, so my little tag there. It's going to kind of hang off to the side. And then I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do them over here. So I'm going to do a large. Sorry, I'm out of the view. Get back into view there. There's that one. And then I'm going to do this one right kind of down here. All right. And then, of course, we'll give the whole thing a little bit of a Stella splatter. We will stellize, give a little bit here on our tag. Just a nice little sprinkle of a sprinkle of sparkle. kind of fun. A sprinkle of sparkle. And there you have it. A cute little dimensional Easter basket. You guys, it's really cute in person with all this little stamped stuff right there. You could also add another something to the back if you wanted, maybe your personalized name stamp or something. But I just think it's a sweet little, take that bag, give it a little bit of a topper, and throw some, crinkle paper in there and some like little Eastery or springtime type of treat. And there you have a cute little bag. Okay, moving right along. I have two more cards to share with you guys. And the first one, let's see here. The first one we're going to do, I'm going to use another piece. So I've got a whole bunch of stuff I've done ahead of time, just so that you didn't have to sit here and watch me do a whole bunch of die cutting. But this is another piece of that Timeless Plaid DSP. And I told you these colors are great. They're really, really great for this paper pumpkin kit. Let's get our card going the right direction. But look how great that looks. All right. So I'm going to die cut myself a piece of this DSP, and I want it to be wide. And so it's going to be 4 3/4 by 3 inches. So let's do the 3 inches first. And then it's 4 3/4. Just like that. And I'm going to do one more cut while we're here. Excuse me. I'm going to flip this over, and I want to get one row of this check. Oh, I want one row of the check that has the dotted line through it. So yeah, I'm going to have a little waste here, but it's part of my card design. So I'm just getting one row of, you're not even going to see checks anymore. It's just going to be more like blocks because we're going to have one row. Okay. So that's what I want. I'll trim the ends later to the length that I want. So we're going to layer up our DSP. So we're going to have one on center or close to center. Let's fold our card and get a good burnish in here. There we go. Then this layer is going to come in. I'm going to have a little bit more on top and bottom than I do from side to side, but that's okay. And then this layer will be coming in here as well. But look how fun just to kind of juxtapose the foliage with the, with the plaid, with the gingham or checker, whatever you want to call it. Now, all of this stuff over here, this is from the kit. This is actually going to layer in here. Okay. And then this also is from the kit. That's going to layer in there. And then we've got some stamping and die cutting to do. I've done it ahead of time, but let me show you how fun these images are. So grab a piece of, let's bring in I'm going to use the white willow because I like it with the kits. We're going to stamp the chive image. So here's the chive image. We're going to stamp it with old olive. Okay, and you're going to need like 4 of them. How many did I have here? Yeah, I've got 4. So yeah, we're going to do 4. So let's just do, and it doesn't matter if the word chives is crooked because I'm going to show you with the die that it cuts the word chives off. So we're just going to get 4 of these. Cute image. Super cute image, you guys. Unusual image too. I mean, can you think of any other chive stamps we've had? Maybe. And then with the petunia pot spot, we'll stamp the chive blossom. And I did a whole bunch. I don't know if I'm going to use them all, but we'll see here. But I highly recommend stamping these all the exact same direction so that once you figure out your die cut, how your die cut, it'll just be easier to align it if you know. So I think I've got like, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 of these. Cut yourself a bunch. If you don't use them, you don't use them. Use them on the next card, right? Okay, so let me bring the die cuts that match this. They are part of the Spring is in the Air. This to me is probably the most brilliant little set of add-on dies they have done, in that all of these dies would work in 1 month. This one was geared towards last month, but it's a heart. It can be anything, right? Any month. Here is the chive die. Here's the bee die I have been using. In fact, I have a couple bees die cut from Petunia Pop. Okay. And here is the chive blossom. So you're going to need that. And there's that honeycomb. So I'm going to put these 3 away. But if you haven't ordered the Spring is in the Air, I highly recommend picking these up. If you are ordering a kit from me and have something shipping to you, let me know and I can get you one of those and we can get that shipped off to you. Okay, now I do recommend for this die a little bit of repositionable tape. And you can see how the die cuts the word chives off, which is a good thing, because if not, I was going to cut it off of my stamp. I'm a rebel. But anyhow, you're going to go ahead and give yourself a little, you might even want to make your own little jig for this, just to be sure that this is placed just right. And then the reason I said stamp these all the same direction, I'm going to bring this up a little closer, but you can see there's that little bit of a point right there, and I kind of have it all facing the same way. Well, that little point is also on the die. Okay, can you see that little bit of a bump right there? Hi, Mary Beth. Hi, Linda. Hi, everybody that's jumped on and off, and that's good. Just doing a little impromptu here, catching up from the other day. But once you have once you know your die, you kind of have to get used to it, right? You can't just think, oh, I'm going to have success the very first time I do it. But it takes a little bit to become acquainted with them. But now that I am, that way, okay, that's where it goes. I know that it's going to face this direction every time. The other thing you could do is also put like a little, if that's kind of what you remember, put a little Sharpie line there. And then you can go in there and die cut those. So I've done mine ahead of time, just so that I don't have to bore you to death with die cutting a whole bunch of pieces. But sometimes that's what a card needs. We've done a fast card. In fact, our next card is pretty quick as well. This is probably the most involved that we'll do. So pretend, and look, it's already all done. Pretend I did it all just now. Okay, so now let's go ahead and kind of put these things together. And so what I want to do, we're going to glue this piece down. Okay. I'm going to hold off on our strip here. We're going to figure that one out in a minute. So I'm going to center this. Okay. I think these look great together. I like putting together like a floral with a plaid. In this case, a foliage with a plaid. This one will go on with dimensionals. And it's going to need a little extra in the middle. Okay, because I don't want it to sag, and we're going to be putting a lot on it. It's going to get a lot of action here. There's that. Whew. Way more than normal, but it's not cardstock. It's kind of a little lighter weight. So I want to make sure that it doesn't sag in the middle anywhere. And so speaking of in the middle, this is just going to go in the middle. So we just have kind of a hint of this plaid coming through. Let's try and get it a little more centered than what I just did. There we go. And so this is that larger label from the kit. Really quite pretty. All right, so now let's stamp a greeting on our circle here. And let's see, what was I thinking of doing? Oh, nope, that's not what I think I have another layer coming. Let me check my notes here. I kind of, okay, hold on. Yeah, I should have another pink tag here somewhere. I'm not quite sure where it went. Might have used it in the wrong thing, but that's okay. Here's this one. This is a little bigger than what I was thinking. I wanted the other one, but, maybe we'll just make this a little bit smaller. I hate to because I love all that, but let's see here. So we're going to stamp to a wonderful friend, and I do think we're going to make this smaller. So let's stamp, and then we will I'm thinking, do I want Old Olive or do I want the Lost Lagoon? Because there is Lost Lagoon in here, and it'll bring some of that out. We're going to do Old Olive. Okay. So I'm just going to do this off to one side, and then I'm going to trim the ends off. Okay. Because I really probably should have used the angle one, but I don't have an angle, the angle pink one. I don't have that one left anymore. So we're going to just go like this. We're going to cut this end off. Let me get this in the camera view here. So we'll just cut this end off. Save this. This is the kind of thing that to me is cute, tucked in little layers here and there. And then we'll do the same thing. We'll get rid of this side. We'll leave about the same on each side. Again, this is a good one. And what I'm saying is sometimes, not this particular card, but if you just kind of have one of these, let me use the smaller one. Like if you want to just do a little accent under a piece or under a section, that kind of thing. I'll call it like our little Levi's tab. When that comes out of your pocket. Okay. This is going to layer onto the white circle, and I'm going to glue that. And it's also going to get a dimensional in back. Hi, Barbara. I got a little bit carried away with the glue, but there's that, giving that a little extra punch of color. So we'll put a dimensional on that. And I'm pretty sure that these are all going to get dimensionaled. Well, they could also be glued. So there's that. Maybe I will glue these. We're going to have one that's going to kind of come in here. And we're going to put 3 off to this other side. Okay. Trying to do these at different angles and heights. Just kind of right in there. Maybe squish that in just a little bit more. So that's going to kind of go, be where our chives are headed for, okay? And actually, this one got die cut pretty bad. And so I'm gonna trade it out and try and hide a little bit more of it under there. Okay, so let's start with, I'm gonna start with some linen thread. So with some of the linen thread from the kit, I'm gonna tie a nice bow, and I'm gonna layer it behind the To a Wonderful Friend greeting. Okay, and here as well. And then I'm just going to kind of put my finger right there. Real technical measuring. But we'll do a little bit of seal so that I can put my linen thread down. And then we'll glue this one on. That has a dimensional already. And yes, I'm intentionally doing it lower than higher. Okay, there's that. And we can wiggle those around when it comes time. So then we'll glue these into place. And I guess we could use dimensionals. However, it's going to start to get to be a really thick card. We don't want it too puffy, or as my former boss would say, voldsomt, for voluminous, voldsomt. Okay, so let's tuck this down in here. I'm gonna get that one going. Okay, just like that. And then these two, I'm gonna have to study these just a little bit more because I don't want them to be, you know, it's like, I don't want it to be exactly like that one. I don't want this one to be exactly, I kind of want to drop the height on them, just mix them up just a little bit so things end up just a little bit more unusually placed. Maybe we'll go, oh, there it is. Just found it. You know, sometimes you have to move it around and then it's like, oh, there it is. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. You guys, I got to take this off. Good thing this comes off easy. I forgot something very important. I'll put it back on, I promise. I forgot my strip. Okay, so but let me bring this in here to see. Let me really bring this down just a little bit. Okay, now this piece goes on before all of this. That's why I wanted to pull that off real quick. Glad I put it on with the dimensional. This is also going to glue, and it's going to kind of stretch across right through here, and this is right in here. It's just kind of an added layer. And I think what I'll do, I'm going to cut that end off, and then let's see where I'm trimming off, and we'll cut. So we'll end with, nope, I think I want, yeah, we're going to end with light. So I've got light on each end, okay? So we'll just kind of glue this down right in place. I know Jacqueline the other day, when she was sharing in the camp that we recently had, she said she loves to add a stripe to things, and I agree with her. It can kind of help provide gravity. I know that may sound crazy. It adds an extra design element. In this case, it's almost like it's kind of like the first card I did the other day where I used the pink as kind of my, it kind of acted as the vase. Kind of looks like a, going across like a window sill or something. Okay, so there's that. Looking groovy and gorgeous. Fun. Okay, now it's all about adding some color here. And I'm going to include some bees for sure. We're gonna have a bee kind of right in there. And we'll have another bee. I think it's gonna kind of maybe come down in here. Haven't totally decided. It also could kind of fly up in this area too. So we'll kind of play around with that just a little bit. But now it's like, oh, we'll just put these blossoms on. The thing is, as I was kind of laying this card out, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I don't want them all kind of in one. My goal is to get them highs and lows and close and far apart. And so let's see where we go here. So we're going to do one about here. And I'm actually going to tuck that one a little underneath that one chive, that one leaf. Okay. And I think I'm going to set another one back in here with it. Okay. So we'll just kind of group those two. I'm going to come back and glue. I know it's like double duty having to do that again, but I really, I don't want to put them on and then go, oh man, I put them in the wrong spot. And I'm going to use glue. So okay, moving right along. Let's do a few more of these. Let's do one that grows on this guy. And we'll kind of do the same thing. I'm going to hide another one. Maybe it's hiding down in here a little lower, or maybe even way low. Something like that. Get them at different angles. Okay, so that's 4 so far. And to me, there isn't a right side up or a right side down. They all work. Okay, so this is where I'm talking. See, if I do one right there, see how we've got them in a row? So maybe we kind of do something like that. And then maybe this one hides a little bit back in here. Kind of like that. And then let's do another one. We'll do one. This one's going to go back because there's its little stem right there. Okay. I'm talking to myself. Hey, Karen, just finishing up this video from the other day that didn't get done. There's that one. And then since I got some crummy, I might do something up in here, but then might thin some of this out. It's just kind of a matter of, how do you want how should this garden come together? Kind of like that. Maybe we'll just hide a lot more of this one. And then move this one a little closer. Sometimes it's easier to move them around. Yeah, I kind of like that. I think I'm going to do that. And then maybe this bee, I'll have him come out just a little further. And maybe this one's coming from, yeah, that's what we'll do. Now we just have to glue it all. Fun times right ahead. There's a lot to glue down here, but sweet. This little bee, everything. So I hope you have these dies. They're really good. Really, really good. Got kind of a lot of glue on that one. So I'm going to borrow some. Okay, just a couple of those. in there. Same thing on this guy. Okay, so now the trick is I'm going to move this one just a little bit higher. I want to change the angles. Okay, let's do this one. This one's going to cover up my die cutting mess. This one's right in there. I'm going to need another dimensional on that. I can feel that right now. I'll tuck this one in. You know what? This one right here is probably the best die cut one, and I didn't even end up using it. Oh well. All right, let's get another. I'm going to put a mini dimensional in there to hold this down. And so this is where, whoops, I lost my dimensional. Where'd it go? Well, I'll just grab another one. As I put them on my hobby blade like that, I peel the other layer off, and then I just kind of reach in. There we go. Fix that. Let's add this bee. We are close. We are close on this. Besides the bees and these last few blossoms, kind of tuck that one down in there. And I have a glue issue. Does that surprise you? There we go. Got rid of that one. And now let's do these last two blossoms. I like this one tucked back in there hiding. Look at that, left hand gluing. And then we'll do this one. All right, there it is. Didn't use that last one, but let's go ahead and add a little bit of shimmer and shine, especially to these bees. It just brings them to life a little bit. And I may need one more mini dimensional to hold that other side down. So I'm going to do the same trick I just did, and that is to use the point of my hobby blade. I know I should use my take your pick tool, but I just like this guy. It's just easier. Okay, there's that. And super cute. I feel like I'm gonna do it though. Oh yeah. Just brings these to life as well. Gives them a slightly different color too. So just kind of a nice, field of chive, blooming and ready to go. Makes me hungry for some salad. So that is our, let's see, what are we at? This is our 5th project. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our 6th. I can't count. All right, I have one more to share with you. And that's gonna be, I've got some scraps on my desk here. I had a basic beige, literally, these two, or I should say actually, not literally. These two were on my desk. I'm like, I'm gonna use them up. But I'm going to do just a little bit. So this is a fresh freesia arch cut from Everyday Arches, but I'm gonna give myself a little bit of an indicator as to where it is on my card. So I've done a pencil line, you can barely see it, and then I traced the corner as well. But that will help me out so that I can come in here with some of the bubble bath. Let's see how well bubble bath even shows up on basic beige. Hopefully it will. But what I want to do here is I just want to take, because I didn't want to do this all over. Oh yeah, it does. It looks good. But I'm just adding some texture to the corner, to the top left and the bottom right corners of this arch piece. And so not everything is going to show, obviously. But let's take a look with this arch back in place. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. Okay, but I do need to erase. So let me erase. I'm going to use a sand eraser, not the eraser from the pencil, because that's like not a very good eraser. It's a Dollar Tree pencil, and they're not the best, if you know what I mean. I've got a glue dot stuck to me. Okay, there's that. We'll glue this in place. Actually, before we glue it in place, let's add just a little bit of, I'm gonna add some bubble bath splatter here. Let's just give this, we stamped a little texture. Let's sprinkle a little texture in the corners as well. So that was dark bubble bath, and I think I'm gonna go add a little bit of light old olive. And I kind of concentrated it around my two stamped corners. Now we'll glue this one on. We'll put this one, I'm just gonna center this the best I can. Okay, so that's the start for this last card. And then I'm going to use some pieces from the kit. You could see that they kind of bounced out here. I have one of the bubble bath labels, rosemary, basil, a basil tag, this cute tag right here. And then these two pieces I've cut. So this is from Spotlight on Nature, and it's the smallest circle, and that's in white willow. And then this one here is more of that pastel ombre glimmer paper. And so this is with the fern die. I did show these the other day in part 1, but this is from the Mary Tags and More. And I know we're beyond this, you know, because this was the last quarter of 2024, but the tag is so great, and this fern leaf is beautiful with this kit. So this is not how the card goes. But these are the elements in this last card. And let me pull my notes up so I can see what we're going to do. Okay, this is going to kind of be another little menagerie style card. So this piece is going to go across the bottom.
Hey, come on.
Hey, Bosco. One of my doggies decided to come out and say hi. So this one's going to kind of just go right across the bottom here. Okay. And get that a little bit more straight. And then I'm going to put this one is going to go, and I haven't totally decided. Is that going to play center or not? Let's get a kind of a general layout of what we're going to do. Then I'll figure out if I'm going to do that center or if I'm going to kick it in. This one's going to kick. The leaves are going to kick inside, kind of spread out over this direction here. And then this one is going to kind of come in here. And this is going to kind of act like, you know, this is going to kind of be what's going to ground everything. But I think I kind of want this little leaf to come up and over. Okay, so we just get a little peek through of things. Of course, I've now wiggled everything out of the way. And then I'm going to stamp a greeting here, and that's going to kind of layer in there. So that's the general direction of where we're going. But let's stamp this. I'm going to stamp it in the Lost Lagoon. Okay, and where's my green paper? I thought I had some. I do have some left over. Okay, so again, putting that contrasting color below what I'm stamping. And then we'll just put that right in the center, just like so. It's a little high, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be totally perfect. But there's that greeting. So let's go ahead and put this together. We've glued our pink. I am going to center this label, I've decided. So, oh my goodness, there's all kinds of sirens outside. I think it's the fire department because they're close by. Okay, so this is going to just center right in the Fresh Freesia arch. By the way, I cut this arch, was from another project, but I cut it from a piece of, or not from a piece, obviously from a piece of Fresh Freesia, but it's the Everyday Arches die. Okay, so I'm going to put this on with dimensionals, this piece here. I wish there were more of these in the kit. I kind of liked this little piece, this little diagonal olive stripy piece. It's a good one. I liked it. Okay, this is going to kind of run right across the bottom here. And it's going to kind of, if you remember in a card that I did earlier from the other day, you know, it's kind of like our vase where everything's going to come out of that. It's going to be the base of stuff. So this is the basil. And I want it to kind of, I want the stems inside the pot. But I'm okay with the leaves kind of hanging over. So there's that one. And then this one is actually going to go underneath. And I think I'm going to glue it just for a little bit more drama on the dimension. Hi, Grace. So we've just got that one kind of poking out from there. Now let's do the fern, and that's going to go right underneath. I'm going to put some dimensionals on this. Let's see. Yep, I can hide them. And I'm just going to do 2 down here at the bottom, and then the rest can just kind of, you know, fly, be free. You know, doesn't have to be glued all the way down. And then this was going to come right into there. We'll do it a little off center. But I am, folks, I've got it, so I'm going to use it. And that is, we're going to use some of this. We'll add some of that to our card in here. Then we'll finish it off with some of our shimmer gems, the In Color shimmer gems. And I think it'll be a perfect little finish for, this is a sweet, quick little card. And I think this card, I might have one more of the lighter card bases left. I'd have to look in my box here. But this look would be good on that base as well. I just kind of grabbed what was on my desk. I'm like, oh, I'll use that up. Okay. So here's that. So this is what I call with leftovers. Okay. So we'll do something like that. And let's see, I'm going to put that down with a glue dot because trying to run my seal over, excuse the arm, seal over this fern leaf is just going to be a trick. So let's do a glue dot on the knot. We'll go from there. Oops, dogs went down the hall where I don't like them to be. Bosco, come here. We'll do that right there. And then, so I don't have the issue of my knot being in the way. We'll put those dimensionals straddling our linen thread bow. And then I can put this on there. I think I'm going to actually do it on a little bit of an angle, just for some fun. We'll add some gems. Now, the cool thing is these Petunia Pop gems or the Pretty in Pink. You could use any of these. I'm going to use the Petunia Pop just because it's a little bit different. So I'm going to do a circle down in here. And we'll do a small kind of up in here. Maybe, well, I'm just going to set it there. I'm not exactly sure where I want it. If I want another one, maybe we'll go here. So that was a large, and we'll do a small kind of right in there. And we'll splatter it and call it a day. Nice. This little bit of splattering, it's like little teeny tiny micro flecks of shimmer, and it just is super pretty. It just brings it to life. I'm just going to swoosh a little bit on this basil here. and maybe a little on the rosemary. Okay, just because I like a little sparkle and shine. But keeping it easy, again, kind of just a play on all these pretty foliages. All right, let's do a quick recap and call it a day. So this was our 7th project. So we had a card, a For You card, To a Wonderful Friend. These are today's projects that we started and finished. So here's that cute kind of, it's almost like a honeycomb flower in a way. But if you didn't see this, you'll want to know how to do this. It's fun. You just kind of have to play with it, really train your flower petals. But there's that little goodie package. We finished up our fold back latch card that I didn't finish the other day. I love this card. I love the colors in this card a lot. We finished that. And then on Thursday, these were the projects that we did on Thursday. We had that one and that one right there. And then this one, I love this one. This was the fastest and the easiest. And it's cute card. There it is. So that is the Hello Spring from February of 2025 alternatives, which I call upstyling. I'll catch you next month for another upstyle class. And this one will be with the dandelions. So be sure to register for that kit before March 10th. It's going to have 2 stamp sets in it. So we're getting the stamp set it normally comes with plus an extra little gift. So, and I've had a sneak peek. They showed us a sneak peek and it's a cool stamp set. The one that's coming as the added bonus. See you then, folks. Bye-bye.